I think it is important to rebel against any conventional ideas or any stereotypes that society imposes upon us.
This is episode 2 of Innovating Education, featuring Rawan Barakat, founder of Raneen Media. Today's episode is dedicated to those who fight, dream, and resist, to the misfits, the rebel, the renegades, to those of you who are told they're not enough, the bullied, the others, the excluded, the ones who were told at some point that they were not enough beautiful, not enough intelligent, not enough one of the bunch, and not enough perfect. Rawan Barakat is someone who stood up for convictions and was willing to make tremendous sacrifices to make her vision a reality. By the end of this conversation, I want you to believe that your greatness does not lie in the utopia of materialistic perfection, but in your cracks and your imperfections. Sometimes in the cracks that life gives you. Being different is your superpower, no matter what your difference is. What can be considered a disability by many can be used as a gift to touch and transform lives. So please, no matter what they say, don't ever let them put you in a box and stereotype you. Do not give up. Be you. Be great. Rawan Barakat can be defined by the word overcoming. This woman is the perfect example of integrity and inspiration. As our world goes through challenging times, I truly believe that her testimony is shining and enlightening us in the loudest and shiniest way. Today we will learn about the power of listening. In this episode we will discover how to bring true innovation and change in communities. Rawan will share with us her experience transforming communities through interaction and experimentation. She will also explain to us why peace starts with listening. We will find out how listening and orality is at the core of creating a more holistic learning experience for everyone. Rawan Barakat is a social entrepreneur affecting the lives of more than 30,000 children all over Jordan and the UAE. Rawan started volunteering in the social field when she was 11 years old with the Jordanian Children Parliament. She began studying theater with the National Center of Culture and Arts. In 2004, Rawan majored in theater arts at the University of Jordan and graduated in 2008. Oh, I forgot to mention that she accomplished all of it while being born visually impaired herself, 100% blind. She became the first Arab blind girl to study theater arts. She realized that the ability to listen and learn by ear is quickly fading in a predominantly visual culture. In 2009, she founded Raneen Foundation, a non-profit organization which aims to develop the listening and communication skills for children, as well as the educational methods. Rawan reached more than 30,000 children all over Jordan and the UAE, and to around 1,000 teachers, as well as mothers who have been trained in new and creative storytelling methods. She also planted around 250 audio libraries in different schools that included Raneen stories, which are produced in a dramatic way. Raneen, which means echo in Arabic, seeks to teach youth about prominent stories in her Arab culture through audiobooks for ages 5 through 16. Rawan works create a space for more participatory interaction and creative learnings and invite teachers to rethink traditional learnings methodologies. Already replicated in schools and refugee camps throughout the Levant region, she has planned to spread the methodology to the rest of the Arab world. Furthermore, Rawan dedicates her time to ensure that special needs children are able to get the education they need in social-cultural life. In recognition of her groundbreaking efforts, she received the Synergos Arab Social Innovator Award in 2011, the Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak Award for Globally Influential Arab Youth in 2013, and the Order of Al Hussein for distinguished contributions of the second class in 2015. She was elected to the Ashoka Fellowship in 2014. Find out more about Rawan Barakat and Raneen Media by visiting their website, raneenmedia.org, or by visiting the Facebook page at Raneen Media. The translation of this interview was realized by Lina Maraka. Bonjour Rawan, and welcome to this show. Welcome to this space that we're giving you, and it's going to be beautiful to actually get to find out more about your vision, your philosophy, your story. I'm sure our audience will really enjoy this episode and this interview. Thank you once again. Welcome. Bienvenue, Rawan Barakat.
Thank you, and my pleasure, and it's my honor.
It's our honor. Thank you. My first question for you, Rawan, is what is your first school memory?
During my childhood, the first instance that I remember was when I attended the school for the visually impaired, and to my surprise and joy, I saw children that were like me. I was not used to being with children that were similar to me.
This is quite a humongous transition. How did your parents build that confidence in you?
My source of strength and confidence were my parents, as they often took me to visit family, friends, and relatives with them when I was much younger, and they also encouraged me to play with the neighbors' children, which I did frequently. Also, when I attended school, they volunteered with the Parent Teachers Association, the PTA, and encouraged me to travel abroad, which I did. That built my self-confidence, made me believe in myself, and also made me self-independent.
As I was reading and preparing for this interview, I was really amazed by the influence that your parents have had in you. What would you say were the key values that they instilled in you?
My source of inspiration was my mother, and I learned a lot from her. During the 7 years that she had cancer, she could not drink anything but milk and could not eat anything either, but she was so strong and determined. Another source of my inspiration was when I traveled alone to 4 Arab countries with a British group, with the full support of my parents, although I could not contact them, as we did not have social media or internet access then. But that built my confidence greatly and made me believe that I can achieve anything. Although my parents passed a few years ago, the love and support that I received from my family has shaped who I am today. My sister, who is a partner also of Raneen, has fully supported me, and the love and support that I received from my family has always been my source of inspiration.
So indeed, they were very supportive of you.
My family also taught me to be proud of who I am. I am part of a family of 3 girls and 1 boy, and there was no gender discrimination among us, and I was always taught and encouraged to be proud of being a girl.
And what were your biggest challenges growing up?
I encountered a few challenges throughout my lifetime. The first challenge that I encountered was when my mother was suffering from cancer for 7 years, and although she was ill, she showed great strength and never complained. The second challenge that I encountered was when I was 16 and I had to perform a monodrama sketch on my own without the opportunity to rehearse on a real stage, and that was quite challenging due to my visual impairment. Another challenge that I encountered was when I was attending university, and one of my professors came by and informed me that I was not talented. He stated that I received support from my colleagues and other professors and staff members due to my visual impairment, and the funds received from NGOs due to that, but not due to my talent. To overcome this challenge, I discussed it with my parents, and we jointly came up with solutions, which one of them was to believe in myself. The biggest challenge that I encountered was how to establish Raneen and actually sustain it, and it is the challenge that I'm still facing today. Also, another challenge that I am still facing is the stereotyping from the media and public about myself.
بس عشان يجيبوا مصاري من الدونر، فهي كانت كتير شيء جارح لصبية عمرها 18 سنة، لكن قدرت أتخطاها بدعم من العيلة، بالتفكير، وقدرت أستمر بهذا التخصص وأكمله وأتخرج ثانية على الدفعة.
So first of all, my condolences for your parents. May they rest in peace.
Thank you.
And one thing that I've noticed about your story, and if I had to summarize it into one word, that word would be overcoming. Overcoming being born visually impaired, overcoming traveling by yourself, overcoming going to school. Can you tell us more about how do you break boundaries? How do you break the mold and the jail, the prison of stereotypes?
I did not face any personal challenges as I do not usually listen to what people say, and that does not affect me. But on a professional level, people could not understand how a blind and a girl can offer services to other children that are not blind. So that was the biggest challenge among people accepting that I was able to offer services to other children.
أول إشي كثير عم بيأثر على شغلي، إذا بتحبي ترجميها وبعدين بحكي على الفيسنج كيف بواجه الموضوع. هلا أنا بالنسبة إلي
Since 2017, to overcome this challenge, I have been posting live videos on Facebook and discussing the stereotypes that society imposes upon people and trying to increase the awareness of dispelling those stereotypes.
مسجز بطريقه انه بسخر من اللي عم بيصير، وبتوقع هذا كنت شريكه اني ارفع شويه بالاويرنس عند الناس وعند الاعلام.
Staying with that theme of overcoming, one thing that I want to touch into is your choice to actually go into a career in art, being an artist, and once again, as I said before, overcoming a new challenge by becoming the first person visually impaired to graduate from the university there, and actually not only in Jordan but in the whole region. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what it meant to you and why actually did you choose this career?
الفكرة بلشت مش من الجامعة.
By coincidence, I had the chance to enter the theater and perform, which I actually enjoyed, as I had a chance to express my dreams and aspirations and communicate with people differently. I could also show others that visually impaired people can do anything, even enter the theater. From that experience, I decided to become a theater major during my university studies.
حتى المسرح احنا بنقدر ندخله، فهذا اللي خلاني اقرر اني ادرس بالجامعه كمان هلا بحياتي هي بنت كثير عندي اشياء.
My experience of performing in the theater gave me great communication skills, specifically public speaking skills, and the ability to reach out to others and communicate with them as well. I was able to express myself and show others that we can achieve great things together.
وهذا اللي خلتني بعدين أوصل لرنين وحولت كل حياتي إني كيف بدي أوصل الآرت للأطفال عشان تبني عندهم مهارات مختلفة.
Is there a key moment when you realized you wanted to contribute in education and make a change?
هي مش بلحظة، هي تشكلت
My connection with education was a 4-year-long journey that started with the establishment of Raneen, first as an initiative and then its registration as a nonprofit organization.
بيناته بلحظة هي انبنت شوي شوي. بالأول كانت الفكرة أكون بس دايركتور لقصص مسموعة مسجلة بشكل درامي، بعدين لا قلنا بدها تتوظف، فهي قصة طويلة بقدر أحكي فيها إذا بتحب.
Tell us more about that journey, please, and the story that illustrate that process.
I will start with
During 2005, I was attending university and quite active in the community. Along with a group of other university students, we decided to come up with community-based initiatives to give back to our local communities. From that time, the idea of Raneen started. While others decided to paint a mural or visit orphanages, I decided to develop audiobooks for children, using my experience in the theater, knowledge, and education.
ثاني سبب لأنه المحتوى الصوتي باللغة العربية كان محدود جدا، وهذا المحتوى بيقدر يستفيد منه كل الأطفال. فمن هون هاي أول لحظة بلشت من هون الفكرة. ظلت الأفكار تتطور لل2009.
During 2012, I decided to transform Raneen from an initiative into a nonprofit organization, and our audiobooks as tools for children to use to learn more in the classroom.
كيف نستثمر القصص المسموعة كإديوكيشنال تول هي والفنون المختلفة داخل الغرفة الصفية.
And what is the context of these children that you are working with? What are some of the challenges that they are facing?
Okay. هلا احنا بنشتغل مع أطفال مختلفين من بيئات.
Raneen serves children that are attending public schools. The children come from different backgrounds, as some are refugees and have different levels of academic performance. The audiobooks were quite impactful towards those children and actually helped those with low academic performance to perform better.
وعادة احنا بنشتغل بالمدارس الحكومية ومدارس اللجوء المخيمات.
In previous interviews, you mention and you talk about the visual culture and the consequences of living in a predominantly visual culture. Can you discuss this a little bit further with us, please?
There's a visual predominance in our world, as most games and apps are quite visual, which can also make us quite materialistic. Listening, however, makes us listen to each other better and allows us to go into our imagination and become more creative.
الخيال بقود لمحلات كتير أكتر بالإبداع والابتكار. وتاني إشي قد ما إحنا فيجوال بطلنا نقدر نسمع بعض.
You've just jumped into my next question. I wanted to ask you about listening. What does it mean? How does it truly connect with empathy, creativity, and imagination?
Listening has many benefits. One of these benefits is that it helps people learn languages better. In our region, we speak colloquial Arabic with many different dialects. So to be able to learn Arabic, listening is very important. Violence in public schools is usually a result of children and young people not listening to each other. Therefore, listening helps children and young people listen to each other, communicate well, and respect each other's differences.
Listening also teaches patience. When you listen, you're waiting to see what happens next. So that also grows your sense of patience and understanding.
انه يصبر عشان يعرف شو بده يصير. فبرضه انه تكوني حدا صبور، هذا الشيء بتتعلميه من الاستماع. الشيء الثاني الاستماع بكتير ممكن يقلل العنف بيناتنا، خصوصا بالمدارس، لانه احنا عاده ما بنسمع بعض، ولما ما بنسمع بعض
when you listen to a story as well, it grows your imagination. So when you listen to an audiobook with musical effects in the background, it makes you be able to go into your imagination and see, and create your own kind of reality. But so it makes your imagination grow as well. So I would like to end here that we do not only do listening, but our audiobooks are also full of activities and discussions. So the story is coupled with discussions and activities that can grow, that children can complete with exercises that grow their imagination even more.
تحفزك للابتكار بالدسكشن اللي إلها علاقة باللعب اللي إلها علاقة أحيانا بالكتابة فكل هدول بيعززوا فكرة الاستماع وبس بدي أنهي هون إنه إحنا مش بس بنعمل استماع إحنا الحلو مع الاستماع فكرة الأكتيفيتي المختلفة اللي إلها علاقة بالدسكشن اللي إلها علاقة باللعب اللي إلها علاقة أحيانا بالكتابة فكل هدول بيعززوا فكرة الاستماع.
And are you actually able to measure that shift and the improvement in terms of reducing violence through listening?
Raneen has completed some assessments that also showed the impact of our audiobooks upon children in public schools. These assessments showed that children had acquired improved listening skills and tended to listen more to each other, their teachers, as well as their parents at home. These assessments also showed a reduction in violence in public schools among these children due to their improved listening skills.
What you are saying is particularly resonating with me. I am from a Cameroonian background and I grew up in the Western world. I grew up in France. And on my Cameroonian background, this art of storytelling and the orality of the relationships is very strong, when on my Western origin, it's not as strong. Can you elaborate a little bit more about the power of orality and storytelling?
Storytelling has been part of our traditions for quite some time. A storyteller, the Hakawati, has been prominent in the past due to his or her ability to storytell and teach people certain values, not always positive ones. At Raneen, we try to teach children positive values with our audiobooks. Storytelling has also been part of many religions, as storytelling is found in the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah to transform people's values. Storytelling is a much smaller part of our culture now, as parents tend to allow their children to watch videos or play games to spend their time.
In that journey to create Raneen, you experimented, you tried different things, and there was some failures, some success, and you used what I would call the entrepreneurial mindset, or a lean way of trying things and learning from these experiences. Can you tell us more about it and that process?
At Raneen, we encountered many challenges from 2012 till 2019. However, we managed to transform these challenges into successes. First, we transformed our audio library into 2 different tracks. The first track is the development of the content for the audiobooks. The second track is a teacher training track, which allows teachers to learn how to use the audiobooks in their classrooms. And now we are transforming the second track into an online platform for teachers to use. Secondly, we allow teachers to develop the training content with us jointly. So we received feedback from the teachers about our training content, and together we develop new content or adjust the existing content according to their feedback. Thirdly, we conduct follow-up sessions with teachers to ensure that they know how to effectively use the audiobooks in their classrooms. We support the teachers by giving them advice, guidance, and tips on how to teach while using the audiobooks as tools to incorporate and engage the children.
And along that process of experimenting and prototyping, what were the unexpected learnings and surprises?
During our journey, one of the biggest surprises was that we had to transform our business model from selling audiobooks at book fairs to training teachers to allow the incorporation of the audiobooks in their classrooms and learning how to effectively use them while they teach children attending public schools. We currently have 52 audiobooks. However, during this process, we encountered many challenges. which included teachers' resistance to incorporating the audiobooks into their classrooms and the Ministry of Education's approval process to incorporate audiobooks in public schools.
I'm very curious, how do you train teachers to accept change?
مش إشي أبداً سهل، لكن اتطورت الفكرة كيف بدنا نخلي المعلمين.
It was not easy to receive support from teachers to incorporate the audiobooks in their classrooms, so we actually engaged in a process to motivate these teachers. Firstly, we would visit public schools and talk to teachers about our audiobooks and the tools that came along with them. No teacher is obliged to attend or incorporate the audiobooks in her or his classroom. However, they sign up willingly for our training courses. Fourthly, to motivate teachers, we display the stories of them using the audiobooks in their classrooms on social media. They seem excited to see their stories displayed on our social media posts. Fifthly, to show our appreciation to teachers for use of our audiobooks in their classrooms, we give them recognition awards. 2 of these teachers also received the Queen Rania Awards for teaching excellence. As a result, we have received many letters from teachers asking to give them the training to be able to use the audiobooks in their classrooms. We are still overcoming these challenges as we speak, and we are still trying to keep Raneen as a sustainable business model.
إنه في معلمتين من اللي أخذوا التدريب رنين أخذوا جائزة الملكة رانيا للمعلم المتميز، فهذا كمان شجع بعض المعلمين أو المعلمات إنه بدهم ياخذوا التريننج ويتبنوا منظومة رنين.
Your methodology is based on what you call the creative teaching methodology. What is the effect of this methodology and how does it pave the way for further innovation in education?
It is not important to teach children information, as information is readily available on the internet these days. It is important to teach children how to listen and obtain information and to use this information creatively to develop solutions to any challenges that they encounter in their daily lives.
That is actually true. Creativity is so important to understanding problems and coming up with solutions. Another thing that I want to touch upon is the importance of the participatory process and how you get to have the teachers involved in that process, that community process of building solutions together. And also how you're creating interactions with these teachers by inviting them to rethink the traditional model.
Community participation is an important component of our program at Raneen. Firstly, we actively engage the teachers to develop the training content with us. Secondly, we empower mothers to come into the classroom and teach listening skills to the children.
I'm actually quite curious to find out about the mothers coming to teach listening and how did it come about?
We conduct training sessions for mothers to enable and empower them to conduct sessions for their children and other children in the classroom at public schools. These training sessions for mothers has raised their awareness on the importance of listening and also boosted their self-confidence, as some mothers are not highly educated, and for them to be able to conduct sessions in the classroom to their children and other children has greatly boosted their self-confidence and empowered them to feel that they can give back to their local communities and children as well as others. We also developed puppet shows along with our audiobooks, and the mothers were quite instrumental in developing these puppet shows to their full potential. As some mothers would actually sew the puppets for us and actively engage in the process.
And during that journey, what were the stories that have inspired you, whether it was from teachers, from children, from parents, from the community?
A lot of stories have inspired me. One of them was when a teacher asked the Minister of Education to open up her public school during the summer so she can develop a club for children to engage in listening to our audiobooks during the summer break. Another story is when a child that did not like to go to school actually wakes up early to go to school because the first lesson has listening in it. Also, another story is when a parent comes up to me and says that her child was stubborn and did not listen. However, due to listening to audiobooks in school, he has now began to listen to her patiently.
Many parents must be thanking you. Hi everyone, thank you for being part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. I'm getting started, so you leaving me a review means a lot and it will definitely help. Make sure you join the Facebook group to continue this conversation and discover exclusive content. Subscribe to the newsletter to find out more about the episodes and the guests. Yes, Rawan, you've touched lives. You worked with so many communities. You built more than 300 audio libraries. You worked with more than 30,000 children. What is the importance of love in that journey?
Love is very important. Loving what I do has been very important to me. Also, providing love and support to the teachers to incorporate our audiobooks in their classrooms has been instrumental in their success. So I constantly follow up with the teachers and provide as much support as needed to allow them to succeed in incorporating the audiobooks in their classrooms. Also, love has been very important for us to sustain Raneen as a business model, as currently we are facing financial difficulties in continuing with our program.
Rawan, what is your vision for education in the region, and what is your dream as well for the education in the region?
My vision is for education in public schools in Jordan to allow children to respect their differences, and also allow children to develop their competencies and skills to reach their full potential. I would also like for all children to receive quality education, meaning that a poor or vulnerable child can receive the same quality of education that an affluent child would receive.
And Rawan, what would you say to the young Rawans out there, the little boys, the little girls out there facing stereotypes, facing challenges, having to break boundaries? What would you say to them to encourage them?
I think it is important to rebel against any conventional ideas or any stereotypes that society imposes upon us. Secondly, it is important not to take any negative criticism to heart, but to use it as our strength to overcome any obstacles that we might encounter. Thirdly, I think it is important to firmly believe in what you do and accomplish all that you dream of.
Rawan Barakat, what is your favorite quote? What is your favorite poem or your favorite proverb?
There's an Arab proverb that says that each man's or woman's value is in what they can achieve. So our value is not monetary, but it is actually in our achievements and in what we can give back to our local communities and society.
Let me tell you, Rawan, that your value is incredible, and I'm very happy to have had the opportunity to have that conversation with you. I really want to thank you because this interview was truly a gift. I remember when I reached out to you and contacted you on your Facebook page, you were actually one of the first person to contest and to answer me in a positive way. This means so much, specifically and especially starting this podcast. Everyone, really, I'm very supportive of this project, of these initiatives and of this organization. And truly, I believe in Rawan Barakat, in a vision, because she has accomplished, she has done, she has experimented, she has brought innovation to so many children, educators, teachers, parents, families, communities in the region. I truly believe in it. So if you can support that project, visit the website, contact them. These interviews have truly been an opportunity to see the power of love, the power of believing in yourself, the power of building something where you are actually able to bring different parties together, communities, creating interactions, and also creating a safe space for people to be able to rethink the system, rethink the way things are done, and explore new opportunities. I believe that a few things that we can take away from that interview is that the power of getting together, the power of trying, experimenting, not being afraid of failing, not being afraid of standing out, of being different, and actually using that difference as an opportunity, as something that allows you to go and explore new ways. And that's what Rawan is accomplishing. Once again, Rawan, thank you very much for this interview. And Lina, thank you very much for the translation.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you.